Alright, what's shaking, guys? Hope you guys are doing mighty fine today. I myself have been pretty darn good. It's been a pretty chill day, but it is a Sunday after all. Yeah, I'd like to welcome you wildflowers and pretty much jump right into what we got going on today. Not all that much other than a little bit of Ori for about 30 minutes, and then we'll jump right into where we left off with Percy Jackson. I got the book right here. I decided to take off the little paper cover, because I mean, look at this. Look at that. It looks and feels so much nicer without it. The other thing is flimsy and gets in the way. Yeah, we left off on chapter 11. 11 is my favorite number, so I'm thinking this chapter will most likely be a good one. At least that's the feeling I get from it. Well, alright, let me pause the music here and load up some Ori. Coleman, is that you in the chat? Whoops. Cancel. I accidentally ran the normal version again. I don't need the normal version. I need the definitive version. The definitive e-version. What would e-version mean? Is that like an e-girl, but an e-version? Alright, I'm excited. I changed my camera setup a little bit. I hope it does a little bit better today. This way I'm much more directly on the camera. Oddly enough, I strapped it to one of my speakers. Which turned out to work pretty okay. Let's go to music volume. I'm gonna turn that down just a smidge. Actually, nah, that's good. Vibration all the way up, please. Thank you. Alright. Game is sounding okay, I presume. Jump right into it. I find that I think I lollygag a little bit when it comes to this game. It's one of those games, you know, it leads me to lollygag. It's relaxing and, I don't know, easy to do. Well, I say it's easy, but not all that easy. Oh, and I got an upgrade last time where I can double zap them now, which makes taking care of these bad boys a little bit easier. And you too. Actually, I don't need to be dealing with them. Yeet. Ah. I really don't like these guys. They lead me to be far more careful than I think is good for me, or is good for little Ori. Is this boy back? He is. Have at ye. Oh. What? Oh, there you go. Okay. Very good. Wait a second. Can I get him to jump up here? To jump up to that? I feel as though I could. First gotta collect his goobers. But yeah, can I lead him up there? Yep. Gotta make sure I can jump up there myself though. Yep. Ah, what? Come on. There we are. Okay, this is gonna be a little tough, but have at ye. Well, that didn't work. I think I may have to jump a little sooner. Oh, right on. No worries if you gotta leave for Din Din. Would you mind leaving the stream up though? Whenever you go. I would be very grateful. Right on. Thanks, man. That viewership is essential in getting affiliate. Alright, let me try this again. Yeah. Well. Nope. Do you have any idea how I might do this? As it appears, it jumps sort of when I jump, right? Let me test some stuff. Come here, come here. Up. See, it'll... But I need it to ramp. Oh, I guess it doesn't jump at all, does it? Okay. I think I'm gonna give up on that front. Come here. Oh, oh man. Oh boy. Okay. That went south quick. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna give up on that. Nice. Now we're talking. Use them against the others. Hello? Oh, hello? Why are you shooting lasers at me? Okay, okay. Appears that man will not be destroyed. Oh, okay. Oh. I admit this guy actually kind of terrifies me. The idea of a just like a relic, you know, an assortment of rocks that has no passion or fury, but simply destroys. I mean, it's that same feeling as, you know, when an unfeeling robot is set to destroy. Hey, another one of you. Ah! Man, those guys are one-hit kills, aren't they? Whew. Rock go boom. You're right, Nick. Good lord. This is where I'm meant to be going, right? Let me look around a bit. Well, no, actually I'm meant to go the other way. What do you guys think? Do I continue on up into this area and try to explore, or maybe I'm not quite meant to go over that way yet? I feel like I could make it though. It's worth one more try, right? Also, thanks for joining me, Nick and Coleman. I appreciate you guys. Explore for the good stuff. I could. I certainly could. Alright, have at you, little goober. Now come destroy your friend. Oh, man. Dude, these freaking guys. Okay, come on. No, again. If I stand on his little spawn point, can you not come back? Hoping that is the case. Let me out. Punch the wall hard. Alright. Yeah. I feel the same, Ori. Alright, you goober. Come here. I did not hold the A button long enough. Man, that is unforgiving. But it's alright, I like that. Now come here. Destroy your friend. Very good. Yeah. Run. Nice, I'm getting better at this part. Or so I think. Okay, well I got here quicker than last time. Come on. Oh, well. Come on, where's your friend? Spawn again. Rise from your underground lair. I bid thee, rise. Hello? Did I kill them off? Are they no more? I also am now realizing that this background, where we're at right now, is immensely desolate. Can he, what? Can he make it over there? Or is he just gonna keep slamming into that wall? I'm not sure. It's worth at least one more try. Come on, buddy. Well, 'cause that is the only way to get over there. I guess past the goober is something over in that corner. I'll try to get that first, I suppose. Alright, you goober. Come on. Have at ye! Yeah! Nice. I do feel I'm getting better and better at that part. Go, worry, go. And duck. And we're good. Ay, 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 man. I have to jump way earlier since it's on that slope, or that slant. Well, didn't get him that time. Come on, man. It's a little bit of RNG. Come on. Go kill him. Now, these ones spawn real quick. Golly, this guy sent a lot of them at me. Yahoo. Okay. Phew. Yahoo. Dude, what interests me is I don't know where any of these like emote faces come from. Where did that little guy spawn? Where was his origin? The little that face. B. I guess it has a little more of a smile to it. Am I getting it? I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. Can't look at the camera and the screen at the same time. Get out of here. There's a well back there. I want it. Maybe worth saving over here? Yeah, with the soul link. Yeah, because that guy's just gonna kill himself. Can I just farm experience here? I could. I most certainly could. Coleman, you got me on that now. I like saying it. Gutex, the fighting game. Player popped off after a cool combo. Ah, nice. So it comes from Gutex. Thanks for the emote history lesson, my man. So I won't be able to get him over this way. These things aren't going to be destroyed by my little blast. Is there something I'm missing here? I need you guys' help. There's something that I'm missing here. Is there a way for me to like propel him over this and then into this? Maybe if I just talk to him, you know? Just one-on-one. Just, hey man, you know, you and your brothers, you kind of just slam into things, right? Have you ever considered, hear me out, slamming into something for me? Yes, that's right. Not into me, but into something else for me. What do you think? Huh? Well, oh no! I was still too close. Rats, man. That rapscallion. That utter goober. That's right. Called your brother a goober. I'll go kill that man for me. Thank you kindly. You. Man, that guy really means business. It seems like getting it to go over this way is gonna be more likely than getting it over that little ledge and to get me into that well. But how? He barrels forward and into this wall immediately. Anybody got ideas? I'm a little stumped. Don't know what else to do, but besides just keep throwing myself at it. Ho, ho. Well, that was perilous. Come here. Yeah, you're just I like this slow jog animation for Ori. I don't think I've slow jogged yet in this game. Look at him. He's just like a normal chap in the morning, getting up and getting out for a jog. I gotta get in my steps. Where's Ori's Fitbit? Hey, big tree guy, bless me with a Fitbit. Okay, I'm gonna save here. I don't want to go through that bottom part again. But how to do this? I feel like I'm missing something. But what could it be? Well, nothing to do sitting here doing the same thing over and over again, so it's time to move on. Alright, explode. Thank you. Gosh, this guy's not in a good position for me. Alright, you goober, you're next. Man, I went through so much effort to get over here, too. Do I still have my save point over here? Nah, the creating a new soul link replaces the other. Alright. There he goes. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I was not looking at the screen for a second. And my little brother was playing too. Oh yeah, these little things. Hiya! Hiya! Alright, let's go the actual way. Ah, the frogman is back! He is back. He has killed me. I'm really good at this game, guys. I think I ought to go professional. Ay, ay, ay. Yee. Yep. Alright. That's convenient. Nice. I have a soul link too, which is good. Dude, Frogman takes no prisoners nor no shit. Neither prisoners nor shit will be taken, he says to me. I mean, what is that frog guy's beef with me, huh? Is it because I'm white? Or he is white after all? Shoot, sorry. That might be an inappropriate joke. But is it an unacceptable joke? I think not. But yeah! Dude, those things are fun. Fun is freak! Alright, we meet again. Oh, Frogman. Oh, that's right. That is correct. You have faced me, and now you have perished. This is the way things go. Who's that goober? Is that another frog? He looked thicker than the others, you know? Alright, I'm gonna save here for sure. I'm gonna make sure that that I am progressing, not degressing in this game. Oh, ooh, okay. Push this onward, I presume. How are these not running into the... you know, I'm not even gonna pretend to understand it. Hey, a well. Bless all that is holy and just. You know, if I stayed here, no frogman could ever get to me. All I'm saying, I might... Maybe I had to just stay here. No, we must go on. I don't need that rock over this way, do I? Oh. Can I make it up there? Oh, I do need the rock. Oh, brother. Alright, you're coming with me, rock. You and I are gonna be good friends. How Ori can pull this thing, I don't know if I'll ever understand that. Ow. Alright, good enough. Right, up I go. Whoa. While Ori brought light and hope to the forest. Others gave in, embraced darkness and fear. Oh, it's that goober from the foreground. A Gooman from the forlorn ruins. We must follow his steps. We must get what he stole. Then, my floating light friend, you shall have it. Without the water vein, the Ginso tree is closed shut. It would appear so. What if Ori just had like a really gruff voice? You know, it's just like, all right, you light and I, we're off to go, and kill big spike ball. Heyo. Well, hello there, goober. Come back here. I say, have at ye. What? Can I get all the way up here? Well, don't think there's really any point of me going up there. Oh, yeah. Don't block my way. Just go around it, Ori. Go to the foreground. You can do it. I don't need health yet. Good to know that that is there. What are these little purple spouts? Think I can make this jump? Nope. Oh, that is what these are. Understood. Okay. May need to go back up there for the health. Got him before he could do a thing. Oh, I need a frogman. Oh, unless I can... Does this do it? No! It does not. Hey, have you seen a frogman anywhere? Oof. I simply wanted to know if you knew a frog. Well, looks like I'm not getting down there. Oh, another tentacle man. Ooh, big boy. That was enough to kill me. That was enough to kill me. Hey. Gonna karate chop my mic. I'm furious. Well, rats. It would appear that this may be a good stopping point. Would you guys like me to face the infamous goober once more with his tentacles, or shall we move on to the reading portion? Reading or goobers? It's a tough choice. Not the candy goobers. I'm not even able to eat those. Sad story. After all, I am dairy free. Well, I suppose the choice may be up to me then. I say we face the goober once more. I won't back down. Either that or I'll at least go and get right up to the point where I'm right before that. And then I'll save right before it. Yeah, no, I won't just save right before it. I'll give it another shot and save before it. Hey, I can get him. He get back here. Heck. I still want in here. Go to the foreground, Ori. Do it. Alright, backflip. Jump down here. Can I? Oh snap. Got him to kill his own. Eeh. So these guys don't kill me in one hit. What makes the others kill me in one hit? I'm curious. Oh, nah. I needed this goober. It is his explodies that will destroy this. I have no doubt about it. Maybe they'll come back if I go up here and heal. Oh, was I already fully healed? What? Oh, it is back. Alright, come on. Shoot. Yeah! Okay. Okay. All is well. Okay. I'm gonna save right here. Give me that ability point in Ultra Light Burst. Increases the strength and radius of light burst. Will that allow me to blow down wooden pillars? Can I blow down wooden pillars if it's stronger? Because that would make me very happy. I would like to blow down the wooden pillars. I think it'd be good to get at least one of each in each tree. Because each of these, I mean, they do some essential stuff. With the pickups floating towards me, that would, I think that would help a little. That would be nice. I wouldn't have to worry so much about all the floating orbs. And globs. And gloobles. And globules. And globules. I've run out of words for the collectibles. Alright, got the thing. Okay, and now we're gonna try to face him once more. Oh, I think I was falling as I looked at him. Yep. Alright, shoot. Okay, it doesn't kill me in one hit, but it does do a lot of damage. Oh, I need him to shoot this. Come on, buddy. There we are. That way. Okay, now shoot this. Now shoot this. Not me, you dingus. The wall. Okay. This is a pretty exciting point to leave off on. Next time on Merry Mitch plays Ori and the Blind Forest, will I be able to kill the goober? Or not kill him? We might not kill him. It may just be that we take whatever he stole and then leave him to his devices. But will I be able to get past the tentacle purple shooty men's? Can I make it through this area? Oh, whoops. I took a screenshot on accident. I also wonder, you saw to the right there with the bloated frogman. I wonder if back there is a secret. My instinct as I'm going through that says to just keep going left and ignore it, but I feel as though there may be a secret there. And if there is, I want that secret. Because if there be a secret, there be treasure. I have no doubt. Well, okay. Let's call it there, I think. Exit. Alright, sweet. Nice, let's turn back on the jiggity jams. Gonna set the controller over to the side. And I think I do need to use the restroom quite badly. So I will be going to go do that. So I will go hit the restroom, pow, and be back in just a short little while. I encourage everybody to grab yourselves a drink, get comfortable, because we're about to jump into some reading of chapters 11 and 12 in Percy Jackson the Lightning Thief. I'm going to be trying to make these little breaks shorter, as I heard from a trusted friend that that's a little bit better to maintain viewership and all that jazz. So let's try for it. Previously my breaks are about 5 minutes. Let's go for 3, and I'll try to make it even shorter if possible. So go quickly, my friends. Be speedy wildflowers, not stationary ones. I do highly encourage, though, get up and stretch It's an important thing. If anything, just stand for a second, take a deep breath, and then get comfortable. Alright, sweet. I'll leave you with the sweet jams, and I'll be right back. Love you guys. See you in a very short bit.
Ever had that feeling when you can't stop smiling? Your heart pounds inside your chest? You try to stand, but your knees become weak. And then that little red-haired girl glances at you, and all of life's possibilities become so clear, and then you realize she has no idea you're alive.
Alright, and we're back. Hope that was about 3 minutes. I simply tried to just go as fast as I could. Normally I don't lollygag, but I take my time in the break, you know? I go and use the bathroom, get a sip of water, and I do a little handstand and stretch a little. And that normally takes around 5 minutes, but I tried to do it in 3 this time. I hope I did well. Well, alright. I think, Snoopy, you're ready to go? Then, I would also like to know, are my wildflowers ready for the reading? If so, to give you a little time to prep, I will play Unfold, the Merry Mitch intro. Hope you guys enjoy, and right after, we'll start the reading. Join me for an adventure, oh, much like any other, with twists and turns and plot devices, words and wonder. Now my advice is listen close. What makes this story different is the teller and the told. This one's ours and it's waiting to unfold. So come be merry with me. Yeah. Oh, come be Join me for an adventure, oh, much like any other, with twists and turns and plot devices, words and wonder. Now my advice is listen close. What makes this story different is the teller and the told. This one's ours and it's waiting to unfold. Sweetness. All right. Let me do one thing real quick. I'm going to change the category here. There we go. Updated. And we are ready to rock and roll, I think. Got the book, and let's hop to it. Alright, so Chapter 11. We visit the Garden Gnome Emporium. In a way, it's nice to know there are Greek gods out there, because you have somebody to blame when things go wrong. For instance, when you're walking away from a bus that's just been attacked by monster hags and blown up by lightning, and it's raining on top of everything else. Most people might think that's just really bad luck. When you're a half-blood, you understand that some divine force really is trying to mess up your day. So, there we were, Annabeth Grover and I, walking through the woods along the New Jersey riverbank. The glow of New York City making the night sky yellow behind us, and the smell of the Hudson reeking in our noses. Grover was shivering and braying. His big goat eyes turned split-pupiled and full of terror. 3 kindly ones. All 3 at once. I was pretty much in shock myself. The explosion of bus windows still rang in my ears. But Annabeth kept pulling us along, saying, "Come on. The farther away we get, the better." All our money was back there, I reminded her. Our food and clothes, everything. Well, maybe if you hadn't decided to jump into the fight. What did you want me to do? Let you get killed? You didn't need to protect me, Percy. I would have been fine. Sliced like a sandwich bread, Grover put in. But fine. Shut up, goat boy, said Annabeth. Grover brayed mournfully. Tin cans. A perfectly good bag of tin cans. We sloshed across mushy ground, through nasty twisted trees that smelled like sour laundry. After a few minutes, Annabeth fell into line next to me. Look, her voice faltered. I appreciate your coming back for us, okay? That was really brave. We're a team, right? She was silent for a few more steps. It's just that if you died, aside from the fact that it would really suck for you, it would mean the quest was over. This may be my only chance to see the real world. The thunderstorm had finally let up. The city glow faded behind us, leaving us in almost total darkness. I couldn't see anything of Annabeth except the glint of her blonde hair. You haven't left Camp Half-Blood since you were 7? I asked her. No, only short field trips. My dad, the history professor. Yeah. It didn't work out for me living at home. I mean, Camp Half-Blood is my home. She was rushing her words out now, as if she was afraid somebody might try to stop her. At camp, you train and train, and that's all cool and everything, but the real world is where the monsters are. That's where you learn whether you're any good or not. If I didn't know better, I could have sworn I heard doubt in her voice. You're pretty good with that knife, I said. You think so? Anybody who can piggyback ride a Fury is okay by me. I couldn't really see, but I thought she might have smiled. You know, she said, maybe I should tell you. Something funny back on the bus. Whatever she wanted to say was interrupted by a shrill toot, 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 like the sound of an owl being tortured. Hey, my reed pipes still work, Grover cried. If I could just remember a Fine Path song, we could get out of these woods. He puffed out a few notes, but the tune still sounded suspiciously like Hilary Duff. Instead of finding a path, I immediately slammed into a tree and got a nice sized knot on my head. Add to the list of superpowers I did not have: infrared vision. After tripping and cursing and generally feeling miserable for another mile or so, I started to see light up ahead. The colors of a neon sign. I could smell food. Fried, greasy, excellent food. I realized I hadn't eaten anything unhealthy since I'd arrived at Half-Blood Hill, where we lived on grapes, bread, cheese, and extra lean-cut nymph-prepared barbecue. This boy needed a double cheeseburger. We kept walking until I saw a deserted 2-lane road through the trees. On the other side was a closed-down gas station, a tattered billboard for a 1990s movie, and one open business, which was the source of the neon light and the good smell. It wasn't a fast food restaurant like I'd hoped. It was one of those weird roadside curio shops that sell lawn flamingos and wooden Indian and cement grizzly bears and stuff like that. The main building was a long, low warehouse, surrounded by acres of statuary. The neon sign above the gate was impossible for me to read, because if there's anything worse for my dyslexia than regular English, it's red, cursive, neon English. To me, it looked like Atinu Mes Gdiron Gomen Meperoium. What the heck does that say? I asked. I don't know, Annabeth said. She loved reading so much, I'd forgotten she was dyslexic too. Grover translated. Auntie M's Garden Gnome Emporium. Flanking the entrance, as advertised, were 2 cement garden gnomes. Ugly, bearded little runts, smiling and waving as if they were about to get their picture taken. I crossed the street, following the smell of the hamburgers. Hey, Grover warned. The lights are on inside, Annabeth said. Maybe it's open. Snack bar, I said wistfully. Snack bar, she agreed. Are you two crazy? Grover said. This place is weird. We ignored him. The front lot was a forest of statues. Cement animals, cement children, even a cement satyr playing the pipes, which gave Grover the creeps. Blah, he bleated. Looks like my Uncle Ferdinand. We stopped at the warehouse door. Don't knock, Grover pleaded. I smell monsters. Your nose is clogged up from the Furies, Annabeth told him. All I smell is burgers. Aren't you hungry? Meat, he said scornfully. I'm a vegetarian. You eat cheese enchiladas and aluminum cans, I reminded him. Those are vegetables. Come on, let's leave. These statues are looking at me. Then the door creaked open, and standing in front of us was a tall, Middle Eastern woman. At least, I assumed she was Middle Eastern, because she wore a long black gown that covered everything but her hands, and her head was completely veiled. Her eyes glinted behind a curtain of black gauze. But that was about all I could make out. Her coffee-colored hands looked old, but well manicured and elegant, so I imagined she was a grandmother who had once been a beautiful lady. Her accent sounded vaguely Middle Eastern, too. She said,
"Children, it is too late to be out all alone. Where are your parents?"
"They're, Annabeth started to say.
"We're orphans,"
I said.
"Orphans?"
The woman said. The word sounded alien in her mouth.
"But, my dears, surely not."
"We got separated from our caravan," I said. "Our circus caravan. The ringmaster told us to meet him at the gas station if we got lost. But he may have forgotten. Or maybe he meant a different gas station. Anyway, we're lost. Is that food I smell?"
"Oh, my dears,"
the woman said.
"you must come in, poor children. I am Auntie M. Go straight through to the back of the warehouse, please. There is a dining area."
We thanked her and went inside. Annabeth muttered to me, "Circus caravan? Always have a strategy, right? Your head is full of kelp." The warehouse was filled with more statues, people in all different poses, wearing all different outfits, and with different expressions on their faces. I was thinking you'd have to have a pretty huge garden to fit every one of these statues, because they were all life-size. But mostly, I was thinking about food. Go ahead, call me an idiot for walking into a strange lady's shop like that just because I was hungry, but I do impulsive stuff sometimes. Plus, you've never smelled Auntie M's burgers. The aroma was like laughing gas in a dentist's chair. It made everything else go away. I barely noticed Grover's nervous whimpers, or the way the statues seemed to follow me, or the way that Auntie M had locked the door behind us. All I cared about was finding the dining area. And, sure enough, there it was, at the back of the warehouse. A fast food counter with a grill, a soda fountain, a pretzel heater, and a nacho cheese dispenser. Everything you could want, plus a few steel picnic tables out front.
"Please, sit down,"
Auntie M said. "Awesome," I said. Grover said reluctantly. "We don't have any money, ma'am." Before I could jab him in the ribs, Auntie M said,
No, children. No money. This is special case, yes? It is my treat for such nice orphans."
"Thank you, ma'am," Annabeth said. Auntie M stiffened, as if Annabeth had done something wrong. But then the old woman relaxed just as quickly, so I figured it must have been my imagination.
"Quite all right, Annabeth," she said. "You have such beautiful gray eyes, child."
Only later did I wonder how she knew Annabeth's name, even though we had never introduced ourselves. Our hostess disappeared behind the snack counter and started cooking. Before we knew it, she'd brought us plastic trays heaped with double cheeseburgers, vanilla shakes, and extra large servings of fries. I was halfway through my burger before I remembered to breathe. Annabeth slurped her shake. Grover picked at the fries and eyed the tray's waxed paper liner as if he might go for that, but he still looked too nervous to eat. "What's that hissing noise?" he asked. I listened, but I didn't hear anything. Annabeth shook her head.
Hissing?
Auntie Em asked.
Perhaps you hear the deep fryer oil. You have keen ears, Grover.
I take vitamins. For my ears.
That's admirable, she said. But please, relax.
Auntie Em ate nothing. She hadn't taken off her headdress, even to cook, and now she sat forward and interlaced her fingers and watched us eat. It was a little unsettling, having someone stare at me when I couldn't see her face, but I was feeling satisfied after the burger, and a little sleepy, and I figured the least I could do was try to make small talk with our hostess. "So, you sell gnomes?" I said, trying to sound interested.
"Oh, yes,"
Auntie Em said.
"And animals, and people, anything for the garden. Custom orders. Statuary is very popular, you know."
"A lot of business on this road?"
"Not so much, no. Since the highway was built, most cars, they do not go this way now. I must cherish every customer I get."
My neck tingled, as if somebody else was looking at me. I turned, but it was just a statue of a young girl holding an Easter basket. The detail was incredible. Much better than you see in most garden statues. But something was wrong with her face. It looked as if she were startled, or even terrified.
"Ah,"
Auntie Em said sadly.
"You notice some of my creations do not turn out well. They are marred. They do not sell well. The face is the hardest thing to get right. Always the face."
"You make these statues yourself?" I asked.
"Oh, yes. Once upon a time, I had 2 sisters to help me in the business, but they have passed on, and Auntie Em is alone. I have only my statues. This is why I make them, you see. They are my company."
The sadness in her voice sounded so deep and so real that I couldn't help feeling sorry for her. Annabeth had stopped eating. She sat forward and said,
"2 sisters? I'm terribly sorry,"
Auntie Em said.
"Not one for children, really. You see, Annabeth, a bad woman was jealous of me long ago, when I was young. I had a boyfriend, you know, and this bad woman was determined to break us apart. She caused a terrible accident. My sisters stayed by me. They shared my bad fortune as long as they could, but eventually they passed on. They faded away. I only have survived. I alone have survived, but at a price. Such a price."
I wasn't sure what she meant, but I felt bad for her. My eyelids kept getting heavier, my full stomach making me sleepy. Poor old lady. Who would want to hurt somebody so nice? "Percy?" Annabeth was shaking me to get my attention.
"Maybe we should go. I mean, the ringmaster will be waiting."
She sounded tense. I wasn't sure why. Grover was eating the wax paper off the tray now, but if Auntie Em found that strange, she didn't say anything.
"Such beautiful gray eyes,"
Auntie Em told Annabeth again.
"My, yes. It has been a long time since I've seen gray eyes like those."
She reached out as if to stroke Annabeth's cheek, but Annabeth stood up abruptly.
"We really should go."
"Yes." Grover swallowed his wax paper and stood up. "The ringmaster is waiting." "Right." I didn't want to leave, I felt full and content. Auntie Em was so nice. I wanted to stay with her a while.
Please, dears,
Auntie Em pleaded.
I so rarely get to be with children. Before you go, won't you at least sit for a pose?
A pose? Annabeth asked warily.
A photograph. I will use it to model a new statue set. Children are so popular, you see. Everyone loves children.
Annabeth shifted her weight from foot to foot.
I don't think we can, ma'am. Come on, Percy.
Sure we can, I said. I was irritated with Annabeth for being so bossy, so rude to an old lady who just fed us free. It's just a photo, Annabeth. What's the harm?
Yes, Annabeth,
the woman purred.
No harm.
I could tell Annabeth didn't like it. But she allowed Auntie Em to lead us back out to the front door, into the garden of statues. Auntie Em directed us to a park bench next to the stone satyr.
Now, she said, I'll just position you correctly. The young girl in the middle, I think, and the two young gentlemen on either side.
Not much light for a photo, I remarked.
Oh, enough,
Auntie Em said.
Enough for us to see each other, yes?
Where's your camera? Grover asked. Auntie Em stepped back, as if to admire the shot.
Now, the face is the most difficult. Can you smile for me, please, everyone? A large smile.
Grover glanced at the cement satyr next to him and mumbled, That sure does look like Uncle Ferdinand.
Grover,
Auntie Em chastised.
Look this way, dear.
She still had no camera in her hands.
Percy,
Annabeth said. Some instinct warned me to listen to Annabeth, but I was fighting the sleepy feeling, the comfortable lull that came from the food and the old lady's voice.
I will be just a moment,
Auntie Em said.
You know, I can't see you very well in this cursed veil.
Percy, something's wrong, Annabeth insisted.
Wrong,
Auntie Em said, reaching up to undo the wrap around her head.
Not at all, dear. I have such noble company tonight. What could be wrong?
That is Uncle Ferdinand, Grover gasped.
Look away from her,
Annabeth shouted. She whipped her Yankees cap onto her head and vanished. Her invisible hands pushed Grover and me off the bench. I was on the ground, looking at Aunt Em's sandaled feet. I could hear Grover scrambling off in one direction, Annabeth in another, but I was too dazed to move. Then I heard a strange, rasping sound above me. My eyes rose to Auntie Em's hands, which had turned gnarled and warty, with sharp bronze talons for fingernails. I almost looked higher, but somewhere off to my left, Annabeth screamed, No, don't! More rasping, the sound of tiny snakes right above me, from about where Auntie Em's head should be. Run! Grover bleated. I heard him racing across the gravel, yelling, Maya! to kickstart his flying sneakers. I couldn't move. I stared at Auntie Em's gnarled claws and tried to fight the groggy trance the old woman had put me in. Such a pity to destroy a handsome young face, she told me soothingly. Stay with me, Percy. All you have to do is look up. I fought the urge to obey. Instead, I looked to one side and saw one of those glass spheres people put in gardens, a gazing ball. I could see Auntie M's dark reflection in the orange glass. Her headdress was gone, revealing her face as a shimmering pale circle. Her hair was moving, writhing like serpents. Auntie M. Auntie M. How could I have been so stupid? Think, I told myself. How did Medusa die in the myth? But I couldn't think. Something told me that in the myth Medusa had been asleep while she was attacked by my namesake, Perseus. She wasn't anywhere near asleep now. If she wanted, she could take those talons right now and rake open my face. The grey-eyed one did this to me, Percy, Medusa said. She didn't sound anything like a monster. Her voice invited me to look up, to sympathize with a poor old grandmother. Annabeth's mother, the cursed Athena, turned me from a beautiful woman into this. Don't listen to her, Annabeth's voice shouted somewhere in the sanctuary. Run, Percy! Silence, Medusa snarled. Then her voice modulated back to a comforting purr. You see why I must destroy the girl, Percy. She is my enemy's daughter. I shall crush her statue to dust. But you, dear Percy, you need not suffer. No, I muttered. I tried to make my legs move. Do you really want to help the gods? Medusa asked. Do you understand what awaits you on this foolish quest? Percy, what will happen if you reach the underworld? Do you not be a pawn of the Olympians, my dear? You would be better off as a statue. Less pain. Less pain. Percy! Behind me, I heard a buzzing sound, like 200-pound hummingbirds in a nosedive. Grover yelled, Duck! I turned, and there he was in the night sky, flying in from 12 o'clock with his winged shoes fluttering. Grover, holding a tree branch the size of a baseball bat. His eyes were shut tight. His head twitched from side to side. He was navigating by ears and nose alone. Duck! He yelled again. I'll get her! That finally jolted me into action. Knowing Grover, I was sure he'd miss Medusa and nail me. Pardon me. Knowing Grover, I was sure he'd miss Medusa and nail me. I dove to one side. Thwack! At first, I figured it was the sound of Grover hitting a tree. Then, Medusa roared with rage. You miserable satyr! She snarled. I'll add you to my collection. That was for Uncle Ferdinand! Grover yelled back. I scrambled away and hid in the sanctuary while Grover swooped down for another pass. Kerwhack! Ah! Medusa yelled, her snake hair hissing and spitting. Right next to me, Annabeth's voice said, Percy! I jumped so high my feet nearly cleared a garden gnome. Jeez! Don't do that! Annabeth took off her Yankees cap and became visible. You have to cut off her head. What? Are you crazy? Let's get out of here. Medusa is a menace. She's evil. I'd kill her myself, but... Annabeth swallowed, as if she were about to make a difficult admission. But you've got the better weapon. Besides, I'd never get close to her. She'd slice me to bits because of my mother. You've got a chance. What? I can't. Look, do what you want.
Do you want her turning more innocent people into statues? She pointed to a pair of statue lovers, a man and a woman with their arms around each other, turned to stone by the monster. Annabeth grabbed a green gazing ball from a nearby pedestal. A polished shield would be better. She studied the sphere critically. The convexity will cause some distortion. The reflection size should be off by a factor of... Would you speak English? I am! She tossed me the glass ball. Just look at her in the glass. Never look at her directly. Hey guys! Grover yelled somewhere above us. I think she's unconscious! Maybe not, Grover corrected. He was in for another pass with the tree branch. Hurry, Annabeth told me. Grover's got a great nose, but he'll eventually crash. I took out my pen and uncapped it. The bronze blade of Riptide elongated in my hand. I followed the hissing and spitting sounds of Medusa's hair. I kept my eyes locked on the gazing ball, so I would only glimpse Medusa's reflection, not the real thing. Then, in my green-tinted glass, I saw her. Grover was coming in for another turn at bat, but this time he flew a little too low. Medusa grabbed the stick and pulled him off course. He tumbled through the air and crashed into the arms of a stone grizzly bear with a painful oomph. Medusa was about to lunge at him when I yelled, Hey! I advanced on her, which wasn't easy, holding a sword and a glass ball. If she charged, I'd have a hard time defending myself. But she let me approach. 20 feet, 10 feet. I could see the reflection of her face now. Surely it wasn't that ugly. The green swirls of the gazing ball must be distorting it, making it look worse. You wouldn't harm an old woman, Percy, she crooned. I know you wouldn't. I hesitated, fascinated by the face I saw reflected in the glass, the eyes that seemed to burn straight through the green tint, making my arms go weak. From the cement, Grizzly, Grover moaned, Percy, don't listen to her. Medusa cackled. Too late. She lunged at me with her talons. I slashed up with my sword, hearing a sickening schlock. Then a hiss like wind rushing out of a cavern, the sound of a monster disintegrating. Something fell to the ground next to my foot. It was all my willpower not to look. I could feel warm oozing soaking into my socks, little dying snakeheads tugging at my shoelaces. Oh, yuck, Grover said. His eyes were still tightly closed, but I guess he could hear the thing gurgling and steaming. Mega yuck. Annabeth came up next to me, her eyes fixed on the sky. She was holding Medusa's black veil. She said, Don't move. Very, very carefully, without looking down, she knelt and draped the monster's head in the black cloth, then picked it up. It was still dripping green juice. Are you okay? She asked me, her voice trembling. Yeah, I decided, though I felt like throwing up my double cheeseburger. Why didn't the head evaporate? Once you sever it, it becomes a spoil of war, she said. Same as your minotaur horn. But don't unwrap the head. It can still petrify you. Grover moaned as he climbed down from the grizzly statue. He had a big welt on his forehead. His green rasta cap hung from one of his little goat horns, and his fake feet had been knocked off his hooves. The magic sneakers were flying aimlessly around his head. The Red Baron, I said. Good job, man. He managed a bashful grin.
That was really not fun, though. Well, the hitting her with the stick part, that was fun. But crashing into a concrete bear, not fun. He snatched his shoes out of the air. I recapped my sword. Together, the three of us stumbled back to the warehouse. We found some old plastic grocery bags behind the snack counter and double wrapped Medusa's head. We plopped it on the table where we'd eaten dinner and sat around it, too exhausted to speak. Finally, I said, "So, we have Athena to thank for this monster?" Annabeth flashed me an irritated look. "Your dad, actually. Don't you remember? Medusa was Poseidon's girlfriend. She decided to meet in my mother's temple. Or they decided to meet in my mother's temple. That's why Athena turned her into a monster. Medusa and her two sisters, who had helped her get into the temple, they became the three Gorgons. That's why Medusa wanted to slice me up. But she wanted to preserve you as a nice statue. She's still sweet on your dad. You probably remind her of him." My face was burning. "Oh, so now it's my fault we met Medusa." Annabeth straightened. In a bad imitation of my voice, she said, "It's just a photo, Annabeth. What's the harm?" "Forget it," I said. "You're impossible. You're insufferable. You're—" "Hey!" Grover interrupted. "You two are giving me a migraine. And satyrs don't even get migraines. What are we going to do with the head?" I stared at the thing. One little snake was hanging out of a hole in the plastic. The words printed on the side of the bag said, "We appreciate your business." I was angry. Not just with Annabeth or her mom, but with all the gods, for this whole quest, for getting us blown off the road, and in 2 major fights the very first day from camp. At this rate, we'd never make it to LA alive, much less before the summer solstice. What had Medusa said? "Do not be a pawn of Olympus, my dear. You would be better off as a statue." I got up. "I'll be back." "Percy," Annabeth called after me. "What are you—" I searched the back of the warehouse until I found Medusa's office. Her account book showed her 6 most recent sales, all shipments to the underworld to decorate Hades and Persephone's garden. According to one freight bill, the underworld's billing address was DOA Recording Studios, West Hollywood, California. I folded up the bill and stuffed it in my pocket. In the cash register, I found $20 and a few golden drachmas, and some packing slips for Hermes Overnight Express, even with a little leather bag attached for coins. I rummaged around the rest of the office until I found the right size box. I went to the picnic table, packed up Medusa's head, and filled out a delivery slip. The Gods, Mount Olympus, 600th floor, Empire State Building, New York, New York. With best wishes, Percy Jackson. "They're not going to like that," Grover warned. "They'll think you're impertinent." I poured some golden drachmas in the pouch. As soon as I closed it, there was a sound like a cash register. Cha-ching! The package floated off the table, disappeared with a... "I am impertinent," I said. I looked at Annabeth, daring her to criticize. She didn't. She seemed resigned to the fact that I had a major talent for ticking off the gods. "Come on," she muttered. "We need a new plan." That's the end of chapter 11. I remember this chapter. I do. This one was good. Hmm. I dig the lead up to the build up of finding just a simple, gas station store that supposedly sells lawn ornaments. And I find that uh, I find that Rick Riordan, it's kind of obvious, at least in the first books, I think, when things like this come up, where it's meant to be subtle, but it's really not. But regardless, I like I don't know, I like the way he blends it into modern society, the myths and all that. It's clever. And I also really dig the transformation descriptions. That part's pretty cool. I recall when I read this when I was younger that whenever I got to one of those transformation portions, I'd get chills. Um, yeah, I would get chills. I mean, the idea of, because I would put myself in Percy's shoes, so the idea of having been lulled into this very comfortable feeling by a very kind old woman, fed and cared for and talked to sweetly, and then all of a sudden recognizing what this place truly was, and seeing right before me, the claws elongate and all that. That's some wild stuff. I do think, I don't know. I guess it's good that it got into the action quickly, but I think there could have been even a little more lead up. I don't know how you guys feel, but that's definitely my feel on it. I think it got into the action a little quicker than is normally my taste. I like the name of the next chapter. I won't spoil it, but just know that I dig the name for the next one. Chapter 12. I'm satisfied with my pop sound too. I I think the one thing that I'm not super satisfied with were my screams for the monster. I'm definitely working on that. The ability to abruptly change somebody's character voice from mild and calm to angry and monstrous. I think that's a tricky thing. Um, Honestly, playing a monster in general, a monster in disguise, I imagine would be a tough thing. I'll leave it up to you guys though to decide how you felt about that. I also recognize we didn't really do a recap. It's been a little while since we were last reading Percy Jackson. I believe it was last week on Thursday was the last day that we read chapter 10, or 9 and 10. But I don't know. I figured it would be good just to jump right into it. At least that's what I wanted to do. uh, was that all right? Were you guys cool with skipping over the recap? Did you miss the recap? I am curious to know. Also, the image of Grover flying through the sky with Hermes boots, swinging a great tree branch at a modern Medusa. That's I found that cute and funny. Well, yeah, that was a good chapter. Oh man, oh man. I forgot I had so you know in the previous two streams. Can you guys hear that? I believe there's a motorcycle out there. In the previous two streams, I managed to find some appropriate, like, kind of chill background ambience for what we were reading. I really would like to do that for this book as well. I find that it I think it leads me to be a little more relaxed, and I think adds to the whole production here. So I'll definitely turn that on for the next chapter, but I definitely forgot about that for the first chapter. Oh, whoops. Whoops. Well, all right. It is definitely time for a little break here. Again, I'm going to try to make it no longer than 3 minutes. So I pray you guys stick around. Stay merry. Go ahead, and I urge you to get up and stretch. It's important. Take a deep breath. And then once you're back, get comfortable again, and we'll jump right back into the story. All right. Cool beans. I'm gonna turn on the cute vibes playlist, and see you no later than 7:35, I believe. All right. 7 blessings to you. I'll see you very soon. Much love, guys. I'll be right back. Mwah. Whoa. Hello there. I'm back. It's good to be back. I went and did my little routine again. Went to the bathroom. You guys don't need to know this. I did get up and stretch though. I'm feeling good. Took a deep breath and I am very ready for chapter 12. I hope you guys are too. Hope all my wildflowers out there are feeling splendidly dandy and ready to go. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna turn on the music I had prepared. If it gets distracting though, I'll switch it off. All right. This is Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief. Chapter 12. We get advice from a poodle. We were pretty miserable that night. We came out into the woods, 100 yards from the main road, in the marshy clearing that local kids had obviously been using for parties. I changed my mind. I think no music is gonna be the way to go. We camped out in the woods, 100 yards from the main road, in a marshy clearing that local kids had obviously been using for parties. The ground was littered with flattened soda cans and fast food wrappers. We'd taken some food and blankets from Auntie M's, but we didn't dare light a fire or dry our damp clothes. The Furies and Medusa had provided enough excitement for one day. We didn't want to attract anything else. We decided to sleep in shifts. I volunteered to take first watch. Annabeth curled up on the blankets and was snoring as soon as her head hit the ground. Grover fluttered with his flying shoes to the lowest bough of a tree, put his back to the trunk, and stared at the night sky. "Go ahead and sleep," I told him. "I'll wake you if there's trouble." He nodded, but still didn't close his eyes. "It makes me sad, Percy." "What does?" "The fact that you signed up for this stupid quest?" "No, this makes me sad." He pointed at all the garbage on the ground. "And the sky. You can't even see the stars. They've polluted the sky. This is a terrible time to be a satyr." "Oh yeah, I guess you'd be an environmentalist." He glared at me. "Only a human wouldn't be. Your species is clogging up the world so fast. Never mind. It's useless to lecture a human. At the rate things are going, I'll never find Pan." "Pam? Like the cooking spray?" "Pan!" he cried indignantly. Pan. The great god Pan. What do you think I want a searcher's license for?" A strange breeze rustled through the clearing, temporarily overpowering the stink of trash and muck. It brought the smell of berries and wildflowers and clean rainwater, things that might have once been in these woods. Suddenly, I was nostalgic for something I'd never known. "Tell me about the search," I said. Grover looked at me cautiously, as if he were afraid I was just making fun. "The god of wild places disappeared 2,000 years ago," he told me. "A sailor off the coast of Ephesus
heard a mysterious voice crying out from the shore. "Tell them that the great god Pan has died." When humans heard the news, they believed it. They've been pillaging Pan's kingdom ever since. But for the satyrs, Pan was our lord and master. He protected us and the wild places of the earth. We refuse to believe that he died. In every generation, the bravest satyrs pledge their lives to finding Pan. They search the earth, exploring all the wildest places, hoping to find where he's hidden, and wake him from his sleep. "And you want to be a searcher?" "It's my life's dream," he said. "My father was a searcher, and my Uncle Ferdinand. The statue you saw back there." "Oh, right. Sorry." Grover shook his head. "Uncle Ferdinand knew the risks. So did my dad. But I'll succeed. I'll be the first to search and return alive." "Hang on. The first?" Grover took his reed pipes out of his pocket. "No searcher has ever come back alive. Once they set out, they disappear. They're never seen alive again." "Not once in 2,000 years?" "No." "And your dad? You have no idea what happened to him?" "None." "But you still want to go," I said, amazed. "I mean, you really think you'll be the one to find Pan?" "I have to believe that, Percy. Every searcher does. It's the only thing that keeps us from despair when we look at what the humans have done to the world. I have to believe Pan can still be awakened." I stared at the orange haze of the sky and tried to understand how Grover could pursue a dream that seemed so hopeless. Then again, was I any better? "How are we going to get into the underworld?" I asked him. "I mean, what chance do we have against a god?" "I don't know," he admitted. "But back at Medusa's, when you were searching her office, Annabeth was telling me—" "Oh, I forgot. Annabeth will have a plan all figured out." "Don't be so hard on her, Percy. She's had a tough life, but she's a good person. After all, she forgave me." His voice faltered. "What do you mean?" I asked. "Forgave you for what?" Suddenly, Grover seemed very interested in playing notes on his pipes. "Wait a minute," I said. "Your first keeper job, 5 years ago. Annabeth has been at camp for 5 years. She wasn't... I mean, your first assignment that went wrong." "I can't talk about it," Grover said, and his quivering lower lip suggested he'd start to cry if I pressed him. "But as I was saying, back at Medusa's, Annabeth and I agreed there's something strange going on with this quest. Something isn't what it seems." "Well, duh. I'm getting blamed for stealing a thunderbolt that Hades took." "That's not what I mean," Grover said. "The kindly ones were sort of holding back, like Mrs. Dodds at Yancey Academy. Why did she wait so long to try to kill you? Then on the bus, they just weren't as aggressive as they could have been." "They seemed plenty aggressive to me." Grover shook his head. "They were screeching at us. 'Where is it? Where?'" "Asking about me," I said. "Maybe. But Annabeth and I, we both got the feeling they weren't asking about a person. They said, 'Where is it?' They seemed to be asking about an object." "That doesn't make sense." "I know. But if we've misunderstood something about this quest, and we only have 9 days to find the Master Bolt." He looked at me like he was hoping for answers, but I didn't have any. I thought about what Medusa had said. I was being used by the gods. What lay ahead of me was worse than petrification. "I haven't been straight with you," I told Grover. "I don't care about the Master Bolt. I agreed to go to the underworld so I could bring back my mother." Grover blew a soft note on his pipes. "I know that, Percy. But are you sure that's the only reason?" "I'm not doing it to help my father. He doesn't care about me. I don't care about him." Grover gazed down from his tree branch. "Look, Percy, I'm not as smart as Annabeth. I'm not as brave as you. But I'm pretty good at reading emotions. You're glad your dad is alive. You feel good that he claimed you, and part of you wants to make him proud. That's why you mailed Medusa's head to Olympus. You want him to notice what you've done." "Yeah? Well, maybe satyr emotions work differently than human emotions, because you're wrong. I don't care what he thinks." Grover pulled his feet up onto the branch. "Okay, Percy. Whatever. Besides, I haven't done anything worth bragging about. We barely got out of New York, and we're stuck here with no money and no way west." Grover looked at the night sky, like he was thinking about that problem. "How about I take first watch, huh? You get some sleep." I wanted to protest, but he started playing Mozart, soft and sweet, and I turned away, my eyes stinging. After a few bars of Piano Concerto No. 12, I was asleep. In my dreams, I stood in a dark cavern before a gaping pit. Gray mist creatures churned all around me, whispering rags of smoke that I somehow knew were the spirits of the dead. They tugged at my clothes, trying to pull me back, but I felt compelled to walk forward, to the very edge of the chasm. Looking down made me dizzy. The pit yawned so wide, and was so completely black, I knew it must be bottomless. Yet I had a feeling that something was trying to rise from the abyss. Something huge, something evil. "The little hero," an amused voice echoed far down in the darkness. "Too weak, too young. But perhaps you will do." The voice felt ancient, cold and heavy. It wrapped around me like sheets of lead. They have misled you, boy," it said. "Barter with me. I will give you what you want." A shimmering image hovered over the void. My mother, frozen at the moment she dissolved in a shower of gold. Her face was distorted with pain, as if the Minotaur were still squeezing her neck. Her eyes looked directly at me, pleading, "Go!" I tried to cry out, but my voice wouldn't work. Cold laughter echoed from the chasm. An invisible force pulled me forward. It would drag me into the pit, unless I stood firm. "Help me rise, boy." The voice became hungrier. "Bring me the bolt. Strike a blow against the treacherous gods." The spirits of the dead whispered around me. "No! Wake!" The image of my mother began to fade. The thing in the pit tightened its unseen grip around me. I realized it wasn't interested in pulling me in. It was using me to pull itself out. Good, it murmured. Good. Wake, the dead whispered. Wake! Someone was shaking me. My eyes opened, and it was daylight. Well, Annabeth said, the zombie lives. I was trembling from the dream. I could still feel the grip of the chasm monster around my chest. How long was I asleep? Long enough for me to cook breakfast. Annabeth tossed me a bag of nacho-flavored corn chips from Auntie M's snack bar. And Grover went exploring. Look, he found a friend. My eyes had trouble focusing. Grover was sitting cross-legged on a blanket with something fuzzy in his lap. A dirty, unnaturally pink stuffed animal. No, it wasn't a stuffed animal. It was a pink poodle. The poodle yapped at me suspiciously. Grover said, "No, he's not." I blinked. Are you talking to that thing? The poodle growled. This thing, Grover warned, is our ticket west. Be nice to him. You can talk to animals? Grover ignored the question. Percy, meet Gladiola. Gladiola, Percy. I stared at Annabeth. Figured she'd crack up at this practical joke they were playing on me. But she looked deadly serious. I'm not saying hello to a pink poodle, I said. Forget it. Percy, Annabeth said. I said hello to the poodle. You say hello to the poodle. The poodle growled. I said hello to the poodle. Grover explained that he'd come across Gladiola in the woods, and they'd struck up a conversation. The poodle had run away from a rich local family, who'd posted a $200 reward for his return. Gladiola didn't really want to go back to his family, but he was willing to if it meant helping Grover. How does Gladiola know about the reward? I asked. He read the signs, Grover said. Duh. Of course, I said. Silly me. So, we turn in Gladiola, Annabeth explained in her best strategy voice. We get money, and we buy tickets to Los Angeles. Simple. I thought about my dream. The whispering voices of the dead, the thing in the chasm, and my mother's face, shimmering as it dissolved into gold. All that might be waiting for me in the West. Not another bus, I said warily. No, Annabeth agreed. She pointed downhill, toward train tracks I hadn't been able to see last night in the dark. There's an Amtrak station half a mile that way. According to Gladiola, the westbound train leaves at noon. And that is the end of Chapter 12. That was a much shorter chapter, but it was a cute one. I felt that one had a really touching moment there with Grover and Percy. I liked that. We also got to learn a little bit more about Grover's goal, Grover's ambition. I'd forgotten that his father before him had been a searcher. I also forgot what it even meant to be right? That is it? A searcher? Seeker? No, it was keeper and then searcher. Well, that was pretty darn sweet. Yeah, I think I'll have this one be a little bit shorter than is per usual, but I think that's just how it will go
depending on the length of the chapters that we wind up reading. That was pretty darn nice, though. I don't know how you guys thought about it. Then again, I'm pretty sure Nick and Coleman, it's just you in the chat, right? My boys. My beautiful boys. My brilliant, beautiful, bodacious boys. I don't know. I do know Coleman had to go, but he'd leave it on, so I think anyone that might be chatting with me would just be Nick. Or whoever the second person is in the chat or in the viewership. Yeah, this one was nice though. I've got a busy day ahead of me. Tomorrow I'm gonna be coaching 2 classes. I have a little thing with my folks, a little therapy thing. And then practice at 6:15. Yeah, definitely be advised. Tomorrow night will be starting later. The actual start point will be 7:30, I believe, and then we won't start reading till about 8 o'clock. I may just jump right into the reading. Not entirely certain yet. Yeah, because I'm starting later, I think on practice days I'll jump straight into the reading. And then on days that I can casually lead into the reading, I'll do that. But we'll see. I may still do the Ori. I do want to make progress in that game, and there is that goober to be thwarted. Let's see. Yeah, that chapter didn't have all that much, but we also learned about Grover's ability to talk with animals. I always thought that would be so cool growing up. I mean, the ability to chat with animals. I think when I would have discussions with my friends when I was 10 about superpowers, it was normally being able to teleport, walking through walls, which aka like incorporeal, become incorporeal. What is that word? I don't know. It seems like no one's active in the chat, so I'll look it up later maybe. Incorporeal, yeah, to be able to become incorporeal, and then talking with animals. Those were my top 3. I wanted to be able to teleport, yeah, become incorporeal and walk through stuff, and talk with animals. Thought that would be pretty sick. Grover is a regular Dr. Dolittle, it would appear. Well, nice. Let's check again. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, look at that. We are about halfway through now. Yeah, just a smidge over halfway through. That's good. Yeah, we're at the chapter 13 marker out of only 22, I think. So we'll be, let's see. Let's think this out. So 13 and 14 Monday. 15 and 16 Tuesday. 17 and 18 on Wednesday. 19 and 20 on Thursday. Sorry, my math is slow when I'm thinking of days and numbers. Shoot, but that'll leave us 1 chapter left. Maybe I think on Thursday I may just finish out the book on Thursday, so that next week, the week after, we can jump into the next book in the series. That's exciting though. So that means really, it will only take about 2 weeks per book. That's much faster than I had anticipated, I think. And that's even with taking Friday and Saturday off to, or switching it up on Fridays and Saturdays with Sci-Fi Saturday, and I'm considering calling it Freaky Friday. I don't know, either that or Frivolous Friday. Maybe it'll just depend on what we're reading. Trying to think of F words. Not the F word, mind you. Just F words. Fanciful Friday? Fantastic Friday. That's a fun one. Similar to Mary, I think. That would be if we have more fantasy themed short stories. I also would really love to, I do really want to have one where it's comedic based, and we read some good old fan fiction, or just simply a comedic short story, one that is meant to be sillier or funnier in general. Nice. I also hope today, let me see. I'll be checking it later on, but I was hoping the camera angle would be better today. I had, like I said, I have the camera on one of my speakers now, and it's dead center in my little setup here, which I think helps a bit. Certainly it helps when I'm simply just chatting towards you guys, I think, but when I'm reading, it still is difficult. I'm still working on figuring out how best to read from an actual novel and still look towards the camera. For the short story days, it'll be better with this setup, certainly, because I'll be looking just barely not at the camera, I'll be looking at the story this way, but you'll still be able to see my face and all my expressions and facial distortions as I go through the spooky stories or the sci-fi stuff. Well, nice. This was a pretty chill stream. It was really nice that Nick and Coleman, you guys wound up jumping in right at the start. I think that was really nice of you guys. I enjoy that gaming portion a lot more when I have buddies to be chatting with and to ask questions. And the reading part was a lot of fun too.
I think the Medusa voice was my favorite.
I don't know if that was quite like Middle Eastern accent. I don't really even know. I think it was, or it could be taken as that. I'm sure. That was my favorite voice of the night, I think, and I think the Grover voice is really coming in to its own, really developing better. And then Annabeth and Percy, I still just kind of, I think I'm working on Annabeth's inflection, just kind of keeping that consistent and good, because otherwise my like younger girl voice, or even girl voice in general, tends to default to just a higher version of my own voice, kind of a not quite a head voice, but just a higher tone of my own voice. But yeah, those are my thoughts on my performance tonight. And it seems like we don't have anybody super active in the chat, so now that my thoughts are said, I will be bidding you all adieu and be heading off for the night. I will be needing to get to bed at a good hour tonight, around 11 or so, I think. So I'm going to give myself some time to hang out and get dinner and and I'll be heading off to bed and preparing myself mentally for a busy day tomorrow. Cool beans. Thank you all for showing up and coming. Again, even if Nick and Coleman, even if you're not here at the moment, I still very much appreciate you guys leaving the stream up. Because again, the consistent viewership is a big part of winding up in affiliate territory. So, yeah, good stuff. All right. I love you guys bunches, and hope all my wildflowers have a splendid week, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Alright, much love. I'm gonna go ahead and play the outro theme, and see you next time. Remember, 7:30 tomorrow, not the usual 6. See you.